vehicle manufacturers are suspiciously quiet when it comes to advertising their in-car navigation. However, they absolutely love to push it onto their customers as soon as they go to buy a car. With new electric cars needing in-car navigation to find chargers, and with the in-car navigation looking more and more sleek with each iteration, is it worth spending over £2,400 or 4,000 freedom dollars to get this luxury? In this video, we hope to use BMW navigation that they have through their MINI and BMW and Rolls-Royce brands as a use case and show how it compares to the best that Google has to offer. Google Maps CarPlay app. My name is Ethan and welcome to Car Creations. The car we'll be using for this test is my very own Mini Cooper with the 2023 MINI Infotainment System. And this car has the most recent navigation possible for the MINI brand. Let's take a look at the maps here themselves. So right now I have it in split view. You don't always have to do that. Turn off split screen and then it's full. Now, in order to get this view that's similar to Google Maps, basically first person view, what you want to do is go to the edge here, map views, and then you want to turn on perspective. Because the other views, they're just very confusing and hard to follow. Just to go over some of the quick features of this, one of the nice things is that you can use the Idrive controller and just scroll down, or you can use your finger. You can change some route settings. Basically, you can set it to fastest, alternative, the green route. You can do a route flyover so you can see how big the route is. You can do general route settings and route details. You can do voice instructions. I normally leave voice instructions off. And then finally, map content. Now this, you can have points of interest. You can turn on the traffic flow. So basically this shows how busy the road is. Toggle satellite images and stuff. It doesn't show like green fields like Google Maps does, but it will show you lakes and stuff like that. That's pretty much all it has. It does have interactive map down here, so you can like scroll around, take a little look, but it's kind of clunky if I'm honest with you. Let's take a look at Google Maps. So once again, what you can do, you can look at your saved places, you can go to gas stations, you can look at restaurants, coffee shops, whatever. You can also use your voice to put in the guidance. Take me to a gas station. It'll search, find the gas station. So we can start if you want to do that, and there we go. Up here, it's very easy to add a stop. Once again, you can go through, find a rest stop, which is helpful, grocery stores, coffee shops, restaurants, gas stations, etc. The settings, you can change the route options to avoid highways, tolls, and ferries like you can in MINI. Colors to be day, night, or automatic. You can turn on the satellite map if you want, use up some more data, and it doesn't load as quickly if you happen to be in an area that's out of data. Set north up, which we don't want, and volume there. So other than that, that's all that Google Maps can do. Let's go for a drive. And what I'm going to do is select a route from here to MINI. We'll give it a few curveballs on the way. So let's get started. So first of all, we're going to go to the MINI Maps. We are going to see how the search works. So we're going to put that in, and we're just going to search MINI. So you can, on this, you can use this wheel, the iDrive controller down by your hand, or you can type it in. There's lots of Minis, so maybe we put in Mini Cooper. Maybe it's the name of the dealership. Mini Grand River. There we go. It's the route. There we go. So it shows nice and close where we need to go. Google Maps. So here should be the same thing. Try Mini like we did before. Here is one of the big differences between the onboard maps and Google Maps, or any maps that you have on CarPlay. Onboard maps are always on your car. I am literally in the middle of a town right now. We only have 3G internet. Sometimes it drops to nothing, and in that case, Google Maps would not work. So it's always nice to have navigation at least on your car, because sometimes you have nothing. So Mini Grand River, it did find it right away. So that is something better than the MINI navigation. We're gonna hit start. There we go. So MINI wants us to go the one direction and Google Maps wants us to go this way. So right away, what's happening is that MINI is taking us the main roads, and Google Maps knows that the main roads that we're going right through a city, and it's rush hour right now, so it's going to be super busy. That's one of the things with the OEM maps. They do not take into account very well traffic, even if they say they have traffic guidance on it. First, curveball. What we're going to do is try to go to a gas station. I'm going to add a stop, gas station, I'm going to search. But you know what? You cannot find it because we are not in any service. And let's try the MINI one. So what we're going to do first is go and try to find points of interest, fuel stations. There you go. Click the first one. Now here we come to one of the great features of the onboard navigation. On the onboard navigation, if you have a heads-up display up here, and if you have a digital cluster, you can actually see your navigation and where you need to turn right on it. Back over to the Google Maps, it tells us what the speed limit is, which is super helpful. It tells us if there's going to be cops ahead, if there's an accident ahead, a lot of features that OEM navigation don't show you. One of the nice things about Google Maps is that if the route starts getting busy, it will show you a different route to go on. The Mini navigation, you can't change the routes and get to a different one as you're driving, unfortunately. You actually have to go and cancel it and then try it again, which you're kind of flying blind for a little bit. So one of the really important things about navigation is freeways, especially if you live in a big city. It's one thing just to have a little map to get you from point A to point B if you live in a suburb somewhere. How easy is it to see when you're trying to get onto a highway? So let's take a little look here. We're gonna go the wrong direction. Mini maps, you can actually show an arrow display if you want to. So basically on this is exactly what you're seeing on the heads-up display, or the digital cluster if you have that. So this is something that's super helpful. It shows exactly how far we have to the roundabout, and it shows us what the roundabout looks like really close up from above, and that is super helpful. But in order to do that, you have to turn on the split screen view. And you're probably wondering why I'm going to Mini in the first place. Well, who wouldn't? Doesn't everyone like going to Mini? Don't you just take a little look around even though you have the car of your dreams already? It's trying to get us to go that way. That's okay. Nice. So here it's showing exactly what lane we need to be in, which is good. Now I'm pushing myself into full-blown traffic for you guys right now, so really appreciate it, okay? So now that we know what this map looks like for getting on and off highways, let's take a little look at Google Maps. So this is a little bit confusing. I do not know how long I'm on this road for. There we go. Now it shows 1.6. All right, so what is the verdict for how the maps are like driving? Well, I think both of them are very similar, except they differ in two key areas. Number one is that mini maps are a little more clunky to use. You have to go to a lot more places in the program itself just to do something. User interface that you use is worse than Google Maps. It becomes the opposite when it comes down to what the maps look like and how easy it is to use them to drive. Mini maps make a lot more sense when you're driving. So the mini maps show where you're supposed to be on the road, what lane you should be in better, and it gives you more information sooner for when you need it. Now here's something is helpful. It just showed us. It shows us what lane we need to be in. However, it doesn't show where we need to be after this, which is something the mini maps did show. It showed us right on the right side over here. Something else I really appreciate about the Google Maps as opposed to the mini maps is that it shows features like stop signs, traffic lights, more features on the map. So there's an entire gas bar. What I do really like about OEM navigation is, once again, its integration with the system itself. So if you go over to the home screen over here, it literally, if you listen to music, you can have your artwork up, you can have what the music is, and you can see where you're going towards the right over there, which is super helpful. Because I talked about seeing music and having maps showing at the same time, Apple CarPlay does have that. It basically depends what you like the look of better. What I'm seeing so far is that Google Maps is a little bit more reliable. I tend to trust it more than I trust the mini maps. It changes quicker, and finally there's just simply more information on it. And of course, as we come into the BMW/Mini, we have to use the OEM navigation. Alright, so here we are. We got here, and both systems got us to where we needed to go. The Mini one was probably going to take us on a little bit more of a longer route, because it originally wanted us to go through the full town of Cambridge on the way, which right now is rush hour, so that could have added an entire hour onto the trip. That wasn't so good, but because I kind of knew where we were going, I went another direction, and mini maps was really good from there. What lane we need to be at all times. It showed us where we're going to be turning ahead of time, which is super useful. It was pretty smooth, and it looked really good with the rest of the mini infotainment system. Google Maps live updates showed exactly the quickest route. It failed when we needed gas because we had no service. Also, it wasn't quite as clear when you're on the highway where you need to be. In conclusion, I probably wouldn't go with the mini maps, and that's because I just couldn't really trust them. They went the longest route possible, and live updates from Mini aren't quite good enough yet, so I just couldn't find myself trusting it, even though I did like the look of them better and it was slightly smoother than Google Maps. So in the end, unfortunately, I have to stick with Google and Apple CarPlay. And if you're with electric Mini, that's really annoying, as you need to find charging locations on your Mini navigation. Well, we hope you found that helpful. If we missed anything or shown something that would push you in one direction or the other, please let us know in the comments. And if you have any questions, please also leave it there, but We hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and we'll see you all in the next one.